This is After Hours at Large, and I am your host, Dr. Adilaja. For the first season, join me alongside a few house officers in the 2023-2024 batch at the Federal Medical Center Owo and learn what it takes to navigate life as a doctor out of medical school in a place far away from home.
Good, whatever time of the day you're listening to this podcast. My name is Babalola. I did my house job in essence, so feel good to in person, even though I just finished on Monday, and it's been an experience. Generally, I am not I don't think of myself as a regular normal person because I have a lot of thoughts that make me stand out, but I don't like to stand out so obviously, but I know deep down in myself that I find out in a whole lot of ways, and I see things a whole lot different from the way most people see things. I don't know what to make of that, but just what to see.
So I'm just very-minded, but that's what I'm like, totally, and all these teenagers. So, let me tell you which school you finished from. I think I started introduction and you like to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I finished from College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Leaf, and yeah.
So finishing medical school to like starting out job, how was it like?
It was a long time coming, basically because for some reason I was just reminiscing on how I had it had been 5 years since I was in 500 level. So ideally, I should have done house job and gotten over with it. But because of COVID-19 and school strike, I had to be held back in school, and I did not really enjoy it. Even though I tended to learn one or two things, one or two skills here and there, but overall, I felt doing house job was a long time coming. It was supposed to have been done earlier, but I'm happy to be done with it now.
Okay. So why did you leave Lagos to Owo?
Thank you very much for that question.
You're welcome.
I could turn the question back around at you, but yeah, it was not. The point why I left Lagos from around to be here in Owo, very far away from Lagos, obviously. First and from as a person, I really put the values of independence quite highly. So even while I was trying to select the university to go to, my initial choice wasn't even University of Lagos. I wanted to study at University of Ilorin, but to have my eyes as a in public environment, and I had to settle for University of Lagos. Which sounds counterintuitive to a whole lot of people because they think maybe University of Lagos should be higher on anybody's radar than University of Ilorin. But that's story for another day. But even while that did not work out, I tended to want to be in a place that's quite a distance from home so that I can, develop myself, and that's coming from a place of being in a boarding school for 6 years of my secondary school. So how did it happen that I ended up in FMC? Or to be specific, what happened was that even while the portal was open, okay, to start the story, we would have wanted to get HSC or somewhere in Lagos just because of maybe proximity and all that. But it's in the process that you realize that your leg does not, your leg is, your leg is not long enough.
You have normal size legs.
Yes, normal size legs. Your legs are not anywhere near where other people are. And you know the funny thing? Funny thing is that everybody thinks they have legs.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing. You always think every single person thinks they have legs. And it is at the end of the day that you realize how long your leg is, and then you realize that you're just a common man. I mean, you know you're a common man somewhere in your head, but it becomes very, very clear and very glaring when you try and then you go nowhere.
Okay.
And so the MDCN portal system was the last hope of the common man. And then I realized early on, even before a couple of other people came around to understand and to realize that you need to take this opportunity. I'd already wasted almost 5 or 6 months after my graduation and getting a license and all of that because of MDCN internal squabbles in my school and all of that. And that's when I realized that I had to take this shot wherever it led, and I took it and definitely seemed like the next best thing. And I told myself that I wanted to make the best of it and everything and just to face it.
Okay. Now, so if you're coming from the University of Lagos, you are a proper Lagos boy. Let's just crack on. You say proper Lagos boy. Let's just say it like that. What was that geographical shift like for you? Because Owo is not like Lagos.
Fair enough.
That was that like for you?
So Owo is, how I like to say it, always like a bubble. It feels like it doesn't exist. In my head, I still have not come to full acceptation of the fact that Owo exists in reality. It's like, if you've watched any of this series, there's this WandaVision or something.
No,
yes. That zone, that containment zone that doesn't really exist. It's just a figment of their imagination. That's how Owo feels like. It's surreal. It doesn't feel like it's a real place. It feels like a figment of my imagination, or all of us are collectively in a hallucination of some sort. Because the place is so true. That means like the things I see, the beauty, natural beauty I see, I find it hard to believe a place like this exists on the map and stuff. But yes, it exists. But Owo is actually dead. On a more practical level, Owo is dead. And somewhere within me, I felt like I needed that deadness. Because being in the University of Lagos, College of Medicine, it's like a cramped up space. Everything is just all together, and then it's really cramped up. And because it's cramped up, I found myself consistently getting overstimulated, such that I would have to lock myself up in my room and keep everywhere dark, just so that I can reduce the amount of stimulation I keep getting. I think that I tend to be very sensitive to stimuli and all the rest, and it doesn't help me. And so coming here was like a blessing, because it gave me a whole gap of a whole 1 year to think about things and to be clear in my mind about the things I really wanted and what I'm doing in my life. So I needed this stimulation, as well as it sounds. But sometimes I need stimulation in terms of social activity and stuff like that, but I just manage.
Okay. So how was the experience for you? Like, you started with which posting?
I started economics.
Okay, you started with the two. You start with the children?
Yes, it was still compared to others.
So where did you rotate to in economics?
I rotated through with nephrology, then neurology, and then endocrinology.
Okay, so I was a posting. How was it like?
For an introduction, they were just average. They were just okay.
Just okay.
There was nothing else particularly standing out for me in particular. It was just there.
Okay, so you don't have any strong emotion or reaction to
yes. I had a strong reaction. My strongest reaction was at my own lack of reaction about how I'm not typical. My strongest reaction was at my own lack of reaction to how things would die.
Okay.
So the thing is, I had like the highest. I signed the highest amount of debt summary for patients in internal medicine during our own time, our own posting.
So you were like doing it,
something like that. That's what my haters were calling me.
Yeah, probably one of them.
Also, the haters were calling me.
Okay.
So I signed a couple of them, and so it got to a point where every Saturday I got a whole lot of weekend calls on the ward, and every Saturday, like clockwork, 8 to 9, at least one or two people to start. And it became almost routine. And just knew you had I developed the inkling or the sense of when somebody was about to park and how they start moving and all of that. So my problem was how numbed and how insensitive I got to the whole thing. The only one that broke me was one. Can I go into this?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, it was one 16-year-old girl that died on his last day of 2023. It was like, it just did not make sense. And the worst part is that you're not supposed to do this, but I had given my contact to one of their family members. And so when patients die, you do the whole documentation, you console the family, and then you arrange for the events, you send to the mortuary and all of that. But that's where it ends, right?
Yeah.
But the fault in what I had done was that I had given my contact to their family, one of the family members, so that they could have for better mobility and logistics and stuff. But the problem with it was that I broke the third wall or the fourth wall they say when it's about literature or when it's about movies. I broke that wall. And by doing that, I was able to see the family as so what happened was immediately after the girl died, 16-year-old girl died, they didn't even waste time to do all the whole internet and all the other things. Immediately to that the hospital they find out, they did all the necessary logistics and everything and they moved the girl and then inside while the couple was inside the car, the girl was videoing it and putting it on the status. From then on they went immediately to bury the girl. I think they did not want her corpse to stay into the community to go into the new year and all the rest. But it took me almost 1 or 2 weeks to process it and it was a harrowing experience. That was one of the only times that it got to me. And I was also shocked at my own lack of emotion towards the whole thing.
Do you think you've gotten better with like processing death and
No, I think
taking that numbness?
I've gotten worse. I've gotten number.
So when people if you look like it's serious, I really didn't know if you see it, but with this new record, I think I can see it. Like side profile, I can see it now. So sorry I ever doubted what they said that. You really do look like him, which is I don't know. I was like I need to say that,
If you say it one more time, I'll talk like this to you.
So after medicine, you went to ONG.
Yeah, so angry.
So I was ONG like.
ONG is one we can summarize in one word: adrenaline.
Okay.
Every single thing about ONG is now or never, like adrenaline, action, 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 action. And my three margins in summary of what ONG was all about was obviously adrenaline. So every single time you are either struggling between trying to save the baby's life or the mother's life or both of them's lives, something like that, or trying to prevent somebody that has a very, very, very sad situation from getting worse, trying to rescue somebody for a quick CS, what do you call it, emergency CS and stuff. So it was always oscillating between those things. Secondly, I found that the morning reviews that we used to have, apart from the fact, apart from how easy it was for it to get political very fast, and so someone said something, morning reviews are not really to establish what was at fault or what went wrong, basically. To establish who is at fault.
Okay.
So there's a whole lot of blame game and blame throwing and all this. Sometimes your consultant can be the one at fault, but because you are the SR, you're the head, or you're the house officer that carried out, and you get to stop the slack. Even while they just look for me and say,
when you did ONG, they were residents in the.
yes, there is them.
So how was that like?
How was it like? Working with the residents, there were three, and I think they were all awesome. They were ready to teach and explain things, and they were cool and calm. And felt like they covered some kind of protection over you in a way. And you tended to learn a lot. Although my specific teammates, we did not have a reg directly overseeing, so it was just you, the SI, and then the house officer, study house officer, the soldiers of the unit, doing everything that they could. Yeah, cons, yeah.
So that gives you a little bit more respect.
Yes.
Actually,
Another thing that needs to be said, I don't know if it needs to be said, but sometimes things got to be erratic. But then, the erratic nature of ONG tended to just end at money review. But in pediatrics, it tended to be all round. It could come from anywhere at any time.
Okay.
Which is another talk for another segment.
You say erratic.
Mm-hmm.
Was it really erratic or it was just, insanity? I won't say the fine line, but really, I feel like I'm not, describing it appropriately, Sorry, I'm not leading you. I just want things like actually just.
I tried to keep PGs. I don't want to say maybe this consultant or something. I don't want to.
No, I'm just saying like the atmosphere. Yeah, because I would describe ONG as chaos. It was very, very, it was so chaotic, like my brain was scrambled. Also, like the overstimulation we're talking about was like the highlight of ONG for me. It was so chaotic.
There's almost always so much that's happening. Okay, take for example, labor ward. Call it labor ward. Everything is going smooth. and there's no evil way of happening. All of a sudden, one patient comes and is like, you're managing 20 patients at the same time, and everything is just upside down. The whole monitoring, you just realize that you can't even keep up. You can't even keep up with the proper pathography. Like if you want to achieve the accuracy, because apart from keeping up with pathographs, maybe there's some samples to be taken. You are negotiating with the family of the patient to get the materials, to make blood available. You're like Google, you're doing every single thing at the same time, and it tends to be crazy. Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah. So
and it's never enough.
Oh, obviously,
It's
like
never
you
enough.
did not do your best. You've done terribly wrong. You could have done a lot better. You gave your bare minimum. It's just people that cannot replace. Yeah.
Oh, and the one more thing is when shit starts going down. Oh yeah, I remember. There's this thing that happened during our O&D posting, not yours. The O&D posting, the department that prides itself in no mortality and all the rest. For some weird reason, things just started to go, just started to twist, and then they found that, oh yeah, they had one mortality like 2 weeks ago, they had another mortality like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, the Green Reaper was working with them.
The Green Reaper was particularly active during our time. And then the thing about it is that, yes, I mean, the thing about, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're doing now. I know what you're feeling now. But I will let it slide because I just cut my hair and you know what they say about Baltic man anger
okay, I understand. Yeah, but continue.
So, the problem with that is that instead of finding out what was really wrong, there's a way that maybe the HCS or the head or the MD getting a report of that, so putting pressure on the HCD. HCD is putting pressure on fellow consultants. Fellow consultants will be putting pressure on what now? On the SRS. And the SRS is putting pressure on house officers. As if it was the house officers that directly made those decisions or created the system. By the way, one is on the department where you see the faults and the inefficiencies and inadequacies of the system. It's very, very clear. Yeah. And then I think house officers are the one that tried the blood bank managers and that did not allow the blood. I think the house officers that poured water inside the generator and made the generator not work for us to be able to book and cross-match blood and make blood available so the patient does not die of internal of shock or internal bleeding. It's just the thing. And then it doesn't make sense. It never makes sense. Okay. And then you can't complain. Yeah. And then you're powerless because you're a bloody house of silence. Yeah. I mean, the other day I was in the clinic and the patient was asking and I just said that, see, I'm a bloody house of silence. There's nothing I can do. So I was like looking at me, I was like, I don't think you understand. Like, I am at the bottom of the food chain and the least of the pecking order and I'm still the worst figure. I would say I was in a very quite friendly unit, but I was still feeling figure. I was in like a very chilled unit. But there's so much protection you can get during your ward rounds that would not feel like after work. So despite the calm and the collectiveness when we did our ward rounds, I was with a very amazing lecturer, Dr. Guru and Dr. Wade Still we did our ward. Dr. Guru is awesome. Dr. Guru is she's an angel. Even though she's talking to me, I know she cannot do it. Yeah. So like despite all that, and I was having like amazing house officers too in the unit. I was with Abidi, Yusufu, Ublon at different points in time and everything. So it was like I was being babied by those people. I still oh God, unfiltered, unrestricted, like and we have stories for days, and I just know that there's nothing I will ever carry back there again. Like as a patient, so as a Napoleon, nice smelling Napoleon.
As a patient, so as that person is carrying back.
Do you remember for the day when they were paying for you and said that? If your own time will come. If your own time will come, I don't need to say. I don't need to look and say, they don't know what to do.
You have to learn when to fight back and when to give up. Like I've gotten to a point now that anybody's praying for children for me, I will tell you amen because in my mind I am cursing out that prayer. My mom is sorry. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now your mom is going to hear you.
Yeah, I will leave it there. I don't know.
Oh, this is what you call soft launch.
Yeah.
Okay, soft launch. Position on anti-neutrality. Anti-neutrality as I know. Mommy, I find out a podcast. Because it's a class, a podcast.
Okay. I don't know. So I feel like I've not blown well enough my mother to want to leave.
So you're banking on this.
I'm banking on this is
not doing well enough.
No. I'm banking on this is the launch. I'm banking on this is the launch. By the time I start doing it, because obviously, typical Nigerian family, when things are not like doctor normal music, let's say podcast, they will be confused. But by the time it's now, breaking out, my mother gets into the like African parents, they are fans of success. But that moment they are trying out something new, they would ask to law in line with what they want to
You
use.
see that and one sports person said that their father went to burn a boot or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody was now abusing fire. Fire is 3 months. Maybe Baba was just being pragmatic. Say, how many people have you seen?
Don't boot. That kind of thing.
Nigeria we are talking about.
Yeah. So there's that. So after ONG, you went to where? Pediatrics.
Where I met the host of this lovely podcast.
Yeah. So I was pediatrics class.
Pediatrics was where I learned that as long as you cannot foment, you cannot create an excuse that's good enough that you somehow fly. There will always see. I don't know how to say it, but you can never be bulletproof. There will always be some. If they are out to get you, they will get you. There's no way. There's no defense against being got. They will get it. You say, examples elude me now, but they will always find a way to find something. If they are out to get you, if they don't want to listen, if they say, people don't have money to do so and so, what about listen? What about that one? What about this one? What's the so that is like a kind of my useful experience is that they are mostly good people. They are mostly calm.
Yeah.
But what you don't have in pediatrics is actually equanimity. They don't know how to be on just in the middle.
Yeah.
They are either aggressive to one side of being good and calm, or aggressive to the other side of being just bonkers in that department. Sorry to everybody. Sorry to everybody that is listening. But the truth about pediatrics is that it requires a special configuration of the brain and of the morals and every special configuration to actually want to and actually go ahead and do pediatrics. It's not for everybody.
No, it's not. But I had a really did enjoy my pediatrics question because it was nice.
Oh yeah. Congratulations.
You didn't?
Oh God. You know that thing you usually say about how surgery is physically demanding and pediatrics is physically demanding and mentally demanding. I realized that wasn't my problem. My problem was not like it was physically demanding and mentally demanding. My problem was that it was emotionally demanding.
Okay.
The problem, how it plays out is that there are just too many human beings that are involved in the standard pediatric in the line of your duty in pediatrics.
Okay.
There's just too many consultants, the SIS, the RADs. The line of command is so long and so many things that draw you out emotionally. Patients don't have enough money to take care of the child, or a neonatal, you are reporting to this person, you are reporting to that person. The lines of to me were just it was just emotionally taxing, emotionally demanding. So that every time I came to work, I was not just physically stressed or mentally drained, I was emotionally spent. I always found myself somehow being emotionally spent after. And I could afford to just put a front and say, I'm not expressing myself emotionally, I'm not interacting emotionally, I'm emotionally off.
Yeah.
But in pediatrics, I just could not do that because there was just too much human interaction. It was too much human interaction. Yes, that's the word. There was too much human interaction for me in pediatrics.
Okay.
I couldn't continue. I could really continue for so long before I kind of lost.
Yeah.
That's pediatrics for me.
Not like to say the. I think I would now look at it because I think I was in pediatrics, I was having that was when I said treatment all over again. So I was having like mental breakdowns and everything. And I feel like it's my favorite because I had a lot of leeway. The days I don't feel like interacting with any human being, they just allow me to go up and rest. The days I come to pediatrics, I come and sleep at work because I'm spent. I can't interact with people.
Pediatrics on easy mode.
Yeah, mental health privileges.
Wow. So So like the rules of the game just play.
No, at some point the doctor was like legitimately fighting because my dad had to come and like come into the hospital and like meet with the people that what is going on? I said, let's come on, you feel me? So by that time, so that was like a lot more easier for me because the fellow will see your face has changed. Have you eaten? Go and eat, go and rest. Then at some point, Google everything like my daddy. So any person like is very intense when something is slightly off. Bibi will tell me. Bibi will see me and tell me, go and sleep, get out of here. Like sometimes I'm more than Dr. Samuel, and he's like, Dr. Sam, go out, go out. Like so, it was like it was tough because of the work and the way you have to relate to children and the experience. And I went to paediatrics as someone that didn't like children.
I realized I actually don't like children now. I also realized I don't like children now. I know that you're actually almost ungrateful parents. Don't tell anybody.
Oh God.
They're
tiny.
Oh my God.
So tiny humans.
And they're terrorists. And they're manipulators. They're like young boys and girls. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. We are grown up adults and we are bad mouthing children because that's true. Like,
they're the great manipulators. They're so cute, guys. They always go their way.
And when you start telling their kids, and you just like, I'm like, I know you. I can see to the start. Like, I know you're a lying person. I can see. And almost every single time I'm interacting with a child, I have a personal vendetta against the child. I can see. And it was until like my last week into the artist that I met a baby that made me like children.
So the one that you tried to fight the line for.
Oh yes.
Every time you say you raise your hand up to
was so happy to see like
that one.
That baby melted like with the tutu green and like turban bandage wrapping on her head.
Yeah, he had the cephalus baby.
No, she had a brain surgery and there's like cleft platelet or something like that. Not really sure.
Cleft. Okay.
Yeah. So anytime that child saw me so happy, so smiling, like I was not even wasting my all the other children. Like I brought biscuits, I brought food, I brought to them, I ate them, I was Iceman.
my own favorite line was this is what in my hand. When I was starting why holding a yellow cannula forward behind me? So you see, this is what in my hand. Oh, the big guy.
Like I would whine like kids, I would whine for like older ones, like above 5 years. I feel like they begin to form a personality of their own, so I can talk to them. So I first start to make them feel like they're adults. So I'm like, mommy, don't tell me anything. This is a good baby. So you kind of like have like, okay, this one is like killing me. Then when I'm after the child is not really paying to my team, I'm after I say there are two things. There's a nice doctor and there's a wicked doctor. This is a nice doctor. But if you stress me, you should be a doctor. I went then someone that told me I was like a terrorist, and I was like, what do you mean? Actually, the child needed a line or something, and the parent was there, and we've been trying, and I was exhausted. And the child kept like trying to use it. I just saw the child sound with force, like serious force, and the child was crying. I was like, see, your mother cannot save you. Your mother will. I can't save you. This was the cry, crying. I was like, you cry. Let us start crying. I went to cry. And the mother was sitting at me like, what kind of admire is this? I look at the child though, eyebrow. I'm like, start cry. Yeah, cry.
There's nothing, nobody can see.
No, the mother will not save you. And the mother also, your mother will not save you. And start crying. You can't just realize. I mean, there's some babies in that church that they start crying and start crying with them. And all the next is like, what Babalola one day? When you start crying, you just start crying. It's really like, who will cry first? It's cannot first.
Oh, I'm saying now, when you see crying, now look at you like, what's really going on with these adults here? I don't know if they could have done what they did because I think in pediatrics, you have his own section entirely. So, like that thing that you do that you send the patient, the mother out, so that you can now have time with the baby and say, yeah, bring your hand here. So you cry.
Because if the mother is there, they will just be telling you, you got some baby one. Because one of the things I had to learn in pediatrics was that you're not arming the child, you're actually offering the child. Because I felt like babies are so fragile. What do you mean I'm speaking? When it got into my head that, you're not arming this child, you're offering this child. When we became ruthless, I told Don't be hard. Oh, what? It's not answer. So pediatrics was like really really fun for me.
Look, another thing, I think shout out to all the already, Dr. Edida, oh my god, Dr. Edida for Dr. Ogumboye,
I mean, that's for
Dr.
like,
Adana.
like you only find someone in pediatrics that is not like amazing.
Oh, that one is like the dying one. She's awesome.
I mean, the middle is like
She's like, she's amazing.
yeah.
That's
She's my G. She's my G. Dr. Bidapu was like my school mother, Dr. Ogun. I'm serious. Because I was really like banking on both of them, like help and they're just it was really nice.
Then Dr. Nana.
Dr. Nana was the person who was inside of my project. Oh, by the time we do
But you were confused about glucose. Yeah, so you can't talk about your project before the project and your presentation now.
No, it was really nice. So I was going to talk about neonatal hypoglycemia, and I was going to go and read study about it. Then other people like you just send your work to them and you just say okay, nice.
The both of you sat down.
But I was so like for that presentation, like we sat down, like back to back, like not just one day. We said that one day, both of us get confused. We carry ourselves and go. We come back another day and we're ready to explain you. It was
hypoglycemia correction. No, hypoglycemia correction.
we were confused. We confused ourselves. But I know that deep, like it just gave you that vibe that you're not doing this alone. Like you're chill. At some point, I was like, if I don't know, it's like if I have a panic attack, if I don't worry, I'm good. Look at my house.
The no.
I know this is when I was so amazing. Like when we walk, we only buy food, but it's like I'm just.
You know, you bought bottles in something like that. When you talk about hypoglycemia, okay, that was.
Yeah, the reason I was working in pediatrics.
What pediatrics, man? Oh my god. Oh god, very easy. Oh, okay. One more thing about pediatrics. Still based on the money review. Money review. There's this running joke about how you're supposed to present cases, especially mortality and all the rest. And then when they now corner you, say you want to describe something, the funny part is when they expect that you know something and then they are really sure you know it. When Dr. Odo, the chief officer, was like, Dr. Babalola, you know that stuff now. Know this stuff. I'm like, but you just know stuff now. It's no stuff.
Like this thing. There's a day I did a code, like I had to come into like coloration. Like the first guy I work with him, sitting under the bus. And I was like,
Dating under the bus. This is an Olympic sport. That man will be able to know that one light and I don't want to directly. I'm a guy. If you fuck up around you go choose your fuck up.
So like
I've never had a person with the sensitive to how does that fuck up. You go choose you straight up. Let me talk about that book. You go choose your fuck up straight up.
So it took a lot of time to like just like tolerate and be in this situation and not I'm like, oh God, I'm going to panic if I'm working with this person because I don't know what I'm going to do that is going to like just throw me out and everything. So there was one day we did call together and we are like already like we are going through something. So when we got to money review, I was like ask question, where do you ask question? If I now ask question, you not ask question. Don't you like, no.
Who will be you the call?
No, you're not asking the question.
So I told you to read up on it.
I didn't read up on it. I was like, I went back to start meeting you. You might just start that. But obviously I could move the stuff and he was like, that's a moment, that's a start. And I'm like, no. No. It was really nice, pediatrics. After pediatrics, we now moved to surgery. We forgot the final pushing. That was surgery life.
That thing you said about chaos. That chaos that you said was general surgery. Oh God. There's always movement. There's always something happening in general surgery. Surgery, I think I enjoyed my surgery. I actually enjoyed my surgery. I realized that I don't have problems with the amount of the volume of work that I need to be done. Usually, yes, in surgery or in anywhere, if there's things that are demanded of you in a place, I generally don't have problems meeting up with the demands. So usually the problems are now with I usually tend to have in interpersonal relationships with the people that either give the work or with the people you're working with. That's where the problem lies. If you have a target and it has been set before time that okay, this is the target, you try to meet the target, you try to work at the target, right? But the problem is when the people you're working with, or people that you are reporting or you are accountable to, if they are now being unreasonable and they're now being, however, nasty and stuff, that's where there's usually problems. That's my own that's my own idea, that's my own thinking. So how it applies is that in neurosurgery, because Dr. UNILAG is wonderful. Dr. Dada, he's himself. Dr. Dada.
Yeah, I think that's just a summary of that.
Dr. Dada is Dr. Dada. Yes.
Those that know me.
Exactly. Dr. Dada is Dr. Dada.
Those that are in the know are in the know. And for those that do not know, don't worry. Come and experience him.
He's who he is, by the grace of God.
Hallelujah.
Then, so neurosurgery it was a good time. It was a good time. Then I moved to general surgery where there was a whole lot of things to be done almost all the time. And I tended to want to give myself. I tended to want to apply myself, and it was a nice set of 4 weeks. Although there was a whole lot of things to be done here, there, and then to compound this, there was a time when the IID went on strike in between posting, so that was like double work on all of us. I had standing to be doing some kind of double already. Anyways, that went on. Then I entered neurology. Oh my God, neurology is an interesting place to be. I don't mind specializing in neurology because I think I like the general scope of what the studies are about and all of that, and what the general body of knowledge is about. And I worked on that neurology, so I was just lounging, I was just coasting. Oh my God, so it was crazy. Then I went to pediatric surgery, which is another piece that is just what it is. I don't have, like I said, I don't have problems with the kind of workload and what you're supposed to do if that is stated ahead of time. But it's usually problematic when you consider the people you're working with and the nature of the work environment. You understand? So in work environments that are particularly maybe vindictive, or where you have to always look over your shoulder, they don't bring out the best in people, and that tended to happen a couple of times. But what's most important is that you learn one or two things, you pick up the necessary corrections. Things will not always go the best way. Different people have different behaviors and different. The sweet spot is learning to work with different kinds of people, achieving the set goals, set objectives, even though people might be a bit more difficult than the average, but you still have to learn to work with everybody to achieve the set goals and objectives. And I think that's one of the most important things I learned from how to work. It doesn't matter, even though things are not ideal, I like to see the world in zeros and ones, in the sense that is the work done or is the work not done? I'm massaging all my energy to ensuring the work is done despite or in spite of all the mitigating factors. And so that's one of the most important lessons I took of my job. Pragmatism, making sure the work is done at the end of the day rather than having excuses, because excuses are easy to make, but I think the mark of increasing efficiency is that despite despite the challenges, you should still find ways to innovate around and sort things out. Not that the system is not damned. The system is very damned. The system is messed up. I saw the most unbelievable. I saw the most unbelievable shit in my life. I couldn't believe. There's some things that I would see and I would say I can't still rationalize it. How do you? Okay, let me not throw the offense under the post right now. I'm just trying to hold myself back, but there's so many bad, crazy things that I cannot rationalize. I cannot for the life of me explain, and I cannot give a sensible reason why these things are happening. But you just have to still try and give your best and look at things from the zeros and the ones perspective. If it's done, zero. If it's done, one. If it's not done, zero. Bar all the misgivings and all the problems with the system.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that the job is done.
Yeah.
Pragmatism 101.
Thank you very much for that. I thought about you this to out of me out of as well. I think that's like really good advice. So what I want to ask is now you mentioned you're kind of techy. So how did you balance, work with like your personal inter and intra relationships? Like that's another thing I feel like is important.
And that's a very personal question I hit home. So I'll try to people bear with me as I try to I'll ramble and try to answer the question. So I hope
What's not your rambling? You listen to your rambling.
Thank you very much. I like to listen to. So the thing about me is that how I cope with having a somewhat unique, I don't know how unique it is, but somewhat a different personality type or different ways of seeing the world or different ways of acting or relating to the world is that most of the time I'm closed off. I'm very, very closed off and almost borderline secretive about what is really, really going on in my internal state about things. Although at the same time I tend to be somewhat jovial and somewhat interactive with everybody. But deep down I'm actually like a closed book. People have told me that just looking at my facial expression, they can't really have a read of what's going on, with me. So I'm like a closed book and stuff. But how I've been able to work with this house job is that I tend to be, like I said, I tend to have this problem with overstimulation and sometimes I tend to forget some tasks that need to be done. So I try to keep a diary in my pocket so I'll make itemized list of the things I need to do so that I could be more organized. I started drinking coffee. I started drinking a lot of black coffee.
Okay.
And then I started running.
Yes. I know about the running. Okay.
Yeah. So when I started running maybe like 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, I started running 5 kilometers and sometimes 7 kilometers every day. Because I realized that it helped me to be more organized and helped me to be more put together. Not so that I could, and it gave me more motivation because one of the things I suffer from is like a serious lack of motivation. It's not like I don't know what to do. I always know what to do, but the motivation to do it is always really lacking most times. But when I run or when I take coffee or when I lift weights, I also lift weights. When I do all those things, I find motivation. I find calmness because most times it's always like I can't really feel, I can't be calm. There's like an internal chaos that's going on inside me. It's like, that thing when you put on the radio and then it's trying to look for a signal, there's constant static in my head. I can't really filter my thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, but I can't really filter it or connect my thoughts to the center where I'm supposed to find motivation to do what I've thought about doing. So there's like that disconnect and the way around it, I just try to constantly engineer ways around it. And some of the modifications I do now are things like running, lifting weights, drinking coffee, and keeping muscle things that help me to listen. Now, how does it really really play out when I'm interacting with people? My problem with interacting with people is that I tend to be, I don't know, I think should I use the word bombastic? Bombastic side. So I tend to be particularly, I think overtly to be somewhat a caricature in some way. I tend to be overtly, what's that word? Jocular. That's the English word. I tend to be overtly jocular, I think. And it's almost like sometimes I don't take things too serious because there's like a disconnect if you think I'm too serious and then you interact with me and you realize that I'm a bit too unserious in interpersonal relationships or interpersonal interactions. And another thing is that I tend to be overtly giving. Like I give too much. It's almost as if I do not have boundaries in some way, such that if patients need something, I tend to sometimes go out of my way to ensure that it is done, even when it takes out of me. And people are start telling me that you should not have gone that far. You should not have. I don't know what to make of it, but I think at some point there are lines that you have to draw. There are some personal lines that you have to draw. For instance, now one of my last patients in pediatric surgery, they did not have money and then the child was in respiratory distress and I paid for the oxygen for my own money and not really expect anything back. They needed blood. I went to the blood bank and see that shortly for the blood and all the rest. But we're supposed to pass central a test tube and then she was telling me to come and stand at shortly. The mother was telling me, considering how I already helped so far, I should go and stand at shortly to get medication from the pharmacy outside the hospital and since that was a line that I knew that I should not, so I was not going to cross. And I made my position clear enough and it means you just have to have boundaries, you have to have lines where you know cross even because human beings tend to have this thing where they keep picking and picking and picking.
Yeah,
and
if
picking.
you can't stop.
Yeah.
If you can't tell them this is where you stop giving, they will keep collecting and
they keep picking and it's
and
so
they'll
weird.
empty you out.
It's just a weird thing and you just keep it's like you discover the well that never ends. They just keep just doing the big stuff. They'll be talking you for all
emptying and emptying your data.
oh God, they empty you for all you've got, every single thing you've got, they will use you. Oh God, you will not believe that human beings can be used like that. And human beings tend to use other people. It's not really good. It's not really good. So it's because somebody extended one arm of friendship to you. There's only one person I met in this house. So this is my house. I don't know in house but the person is exhausting. The person is exhausted me so much. The person was staying around the lodge where we all stay. The person is exhausted. You extend your hand of kindness and then they see it as like a passport. Just enter inside and just extract all the resources and everything they can get from you for all it's worth. And that's what they see you as. And it's not good.
Okay.
Sorry,
I think you know. No, it's fine. I think I know the person you're talking about. Like, at some point now, I don't want it at all.
Oh, she asked you for money too.
Okay, no.
I blocked her. I blocked her. You know what I blocked because of this? I just keep blocking you. I first tell you that look, I'm currently doing something. Maybe reduce the quality of your calls and all the rest. And they don't listen. I just block and I move on. It's not that I will not send money, but it's harassment.
Yeah, that sounds true.
It's harassment.
Yeah. So I think there was a time we spoke and you said you're not going to orthopedics.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's somewhere you want to specialize in?
I think I'm going to end up doing something in surgery. Ideally, surgery because ideally I should end up somewhere in surgery because I don't have the patience
or other.
I don't have the patience for first of all for pediatrics. I don't have the emotional bandwidth for pediatrics. I cannot do it. I do not have the patience and the affinity for just sitting down in the room and reading stuff for medicine.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it. Even though my brain works very well for medicine, all the pathophysiology and stuff like that, I have expect to do something where I'm up and going, up and doing.
Like where there's like that constant adrenaline.
Where there's action.
Yeah.
That's the only way. I cannot imagine myself sitting in every people are sitting in an office, all those night classes. I will lose my mind.
Definitely.
I will lose my mind very fast. I will run. I will just go kilometers.
You are taking to the bottom.
Fair enough. I always think myself as I'm maybe some standard deviation away from normal level of mental normalcy. I don't think I'm mentally the same as every other person. I'm quite a couple of standard deviations.
Yeah. I was happy with this therapist number. Seriously, and I'm considering it like the therapist.
I think I'll be open to a conversation. One or two conversations.
Public service is fine, wrapping this up, do you have plans to remain in the country or do you have plans to leave? Because at this point it's like a very normal question to ask.
I have plans in the work to leave.
Okay.
I have plans in the work to leave. Although a possibility of staying in the country is not ruled out.
Alright. Yeah. Answer like a politician that you will do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said if yes. Do not let me answer you like an if yes. If yes is let me know cast. let me say too much.
Okay. I was going to ask something now, I'm forgetting my professional to ask the boss. Okay, yeah, now you're done with house job and everything. Do you have an idea of what is next in line? Like, I know there's NYC, but do you have an idea of like to the end of the year? Let's not go into the NYC part. Like to the end of the year, do you have an idea of what you'll be doing?
Mostly city.
Okay.
I'll be going to up and down Lagos.
Okay, you're going back to Lagos.
Yes, I'm going back to Lagos. I'll be going to up and down. Then I'm going to ride my videography career.
Okay.
I'm probably looking to my animation issue because key paying and the economic situation have made it imperative for us to pick up things that we can use and stuff that we can export, and media skills are still my forte.
Okay.
And I want to look into how I can get back on the grind and do more. But then again, I also want to prepare for the exams and social public statement next year. So there's a whole lot of things to put in perspective towards next year, but I wish of God everything will be done. There's still a lot of uncertainty, but it's all work out.
So before I get on it, I want to use this opportunity to thank Dr. Babalola for all the times I needed somebody to help me out in church, and it's the person I'm running to, and I'm really so grateful for that. And
You're welcome.
I really wish you the best in life future endeavors, maybe one of these days when I get back to Lagos, we could probably just go out for a drink or something. I don't know. How do you think about that?
That's not bad.
So that's not bad in a very flat tone. Thank you very much. Until the next episode. Bye.
I'll be looking forward to being out.
Not the disclosure episode, the list one, so I'll be looking forward to. Yeah, bye.